Hello students, today's lesson is about complementary, supplementary, and vertically opposite angles. Let's start first with complementary angles. Definition: two angles or one pair of angles are complementary if their sum is equal to 90 degrees. It means they add up to 90 degrees. To understand this concept more, let's observe this figure. Here we have two acute angles, one in pink and the other in blue. Let's watch this animation. If I glue the pink and the blue angles together, you will see they will form together a right angle. It means if I add their measure, it will be equal to 90 degrees. In this case, we say that these two angles are complementary. Example, in this figure we have angle ABC of measure 6 degrees and angle EFG of measure 84 degrees. 84 degrees plus 6 degrees equals 90 degrees. They are two complementary angles. Let's see this animation. 68 plus 22, 90 degrees. 51 plus 39, also 41 plus 49 equals 90. 21, 18 plus 72, 7 plus 83, 46 plus 44, 45 plus 45. So we have a lot of pairs of complementary angles. They must have a sum of 90 degrees when I add both their measure. Here 80 plus 10 equals 90 also. So remark, two complementary angles don't have to be adjacent. Here angle GFE is of vertex F and angle CBA is of vertex B. They have different vertices. They don't have the same vertex, so they are not adjacent. But they are complementary because if I add their measure, it will be 90 degrees. So two complementary angles, they don't have to be adjacent. So angles EFG and ABC are two complementary angles because if I add EFG plus ABC, it's equal to 10 degrees plus 80 degrees equals 90 degrees. This is how I justify that two angles are complementary. I add both their measure, it should be equal to 90 degrees. Important vocabulary: if two angles are complementary, each angle is called or represents the complement of the other. Here, the complement of angle ABC is angle EFG because the word complement means how much do I need to add to 80 degrees to obtain 90 degrees. I need to add 10 degrees, so I need to add the angle EFG. So angle EFG is the complement of angle ABC. Same here, the complement of angle EFG, it means how much do I need to add to 10 degrees to obtain 90 degrees. I need to add 80 degrees. So the complement of angle EFG is angle BAC. Each angle is the complement of the other. Attention! Two angles that are complementary and adjacent at the same time are called two adjacent complementary angles. Example, in this figure, angle DCF and angle FCE, they are both complementary angles because if I add their measure, 15 degrees plus 75 degrees equals 90 degrees. Also, DCF and FCE are adjacent because they have same vertex C, they have a common side CF, and they are situated on opposite sides of their common side CF. And if you notice also, they form together a right angle. So two adjacent complementary angles, they form together a right angle. Let's see more examples. Let's move the common side CF. If I change the measure of both these two angles, their sum will always remain 90 degrees. 45 plus 45, 29 plus 61. They are complementary and adjacent at the same time. So these two angles, we call them two adjacent complementary angles. Angles DCF and FCE are two adjacent complementary angles because they are adjacent and complementary at the same time. They are glued together at side CF and they form together a right angle. Attention, DCE and DCF are not two adjacent complementary angles. So the angle DCE is equal to 90 degrees and angle DCF equals to 25 degrees. 90 plus 25 equals 115 degrees. So of course they are not complementary. And their common side here is DC. The two repeated letters are D and C. So CD is their common side. So they are situated both to the left of the common side CD, so they are not adjacent also. Same for angles DCE and FCE. DCE is 90 degrees and FCE is 65 degrees. 90 plus 65 equals 155 degrees. It's not 90 degrees. And their common side is CE. They are both situated to the right of CE, so they are not adjacent. Now let's continue with supplementary angles. Definition: two angles or one pair of angles are supplementary if their sum is equal to 180 degrees. So they add up to 180 degrees. To understand this concept more, let's observe this figure. Here we have a pink angle and a blue angle. Let's watch the animation together. If I glue the pink and the blue angles together, they will form together a straight angle. So they are forming together a straight angle. So their sum is equal to the measure of a straight angle, which is 180 degrees. So this pink angle and blue angle are called supplementary angles because if I add their measure, it's equal to 180 degrees. Example, in this figure here, we have angle LKJ equals 50 degrees and angle PON equals 130 degrees. 50 plus 130 degrees equals 180 degrees, so they are supplementary angles. Let's change the measure of the angle. 75 plus 90 plus 90, 180 degrees. 101 plus 79. So here we are changing the measure of both angles each time, and their sum is 180 degrees. So two angles having the sum of 180 degrees are called two supplementary angles. 50 plus 130 equals 180 degrees. So remark, two supplementary angles don't have to be adjacent. So both these angles have different vertices. They don't have the same vertex, but they have a sum of 180 degrees. So they are supplementary angles. So angle JKL and angle NOP are two supplementary angles because if I add them, let's add JKL plus NOP equals 50 degrees plus 130 degrees equals 180 degrees. Important vocabulary. If two angles are supplementary, each angle is called or represents the supplement of the other. So supplement means how much do I need to add to 130 degrees to obtain 180 degrees? I need to add 50 degrees. So I need to add the angle LKJ. So angle LKJ is the supplement of angle NOP. Same for angle PON. PON is the supplement of angle LKJ. Attention! Two angles that are supplementary and adjacent at the same time are called two adjacent supplementary angles. In this figure, angle BCD and angle BCA, if we add their measure, we obtain 30 degrees plus 150 degrees equals 180 degrees, so they are supplementary. And they are also adjacent because they have same vertex C, they have a common side CD, and they are situated on opposite sides of their common side CD, so they are adjacent. And if you notice, they form together a straight angle. So two adjacent supplementary angles form together a straight angle. Let's watch together this animation. Let's change the measure of both angles. Here, if you notice now, angles of measures 90 and 90 here are supplementary and adjacent. Here, be careful, two adjacent supplementary angles, they form together a straight angle, and their common side is in the middle in between. So here we have different examples, like 60 degrees and 120 degrees. If we add them equals 180 degrees. Angles BCD and DCA are two adjacent supplementary angles. They are glued together at side CD, which is the common side, and they form together a straight angle. Now, an important remark. Since angle BCD and DCA are two adjacent supplementary angles, it means here the angle BCA is a straight angle. It means the two sides CB and CA, they are opposite to each other. They are the extension of each other. That's why points AC and B are collinear, because they are located on the same line. So here, if we have two adjacent supplementary angles, we will have these 3 points as collinear points. So be careful. Because if these 3 points are not collinear, it means these two angles, of course, they are not supplementary because they won't be forming a straight angle. This is the end of this video. We have a part 2. So after you finish this part, go and watch the next part. Thank you for watching.